in Beverly Hills. Thank you for joining us. Talk to us.
Oh, my
What have you
pleasure.
seen?
Well, we were literally in the exact epicenter of the fire as it started. That's actually a view from my porch.
Yep, this is a
That's the
video
house,
you
one
shot.
below us
Yep.
on fire. Yeah. We My neighbor called and he said a fellow named Robert Trinkteller was about 5 houses up. You have to understand the Palisades is a very almost like an old-fashioned neighborhood. Sidewalks, all the neighbors know each other. We all have each other's phone numbers, and people are very aware that we're in a fire zone. And in fact, I had said day before yesterday, to my wife Sarah, I said, "Oh, that guy on the hillside hasn't cut down his grass. They got to cut down that brush because there's going to be a fire." And that's the person who didn't cut that brush was that fire you're looking at right now. That's my pool right there. That was the
Wow.
brush below us that was not cut. And so we went out. I had a record of the call. In 17 minutes later, we were evacuated with the clothes on our back. Our garage door wouldn't open because the wind was so bright it torqued the door, and we finally got out. When we got to the bottom of the hill, I said, "Oh my God, we have a neighbor who's 94 years old who has dementia." And I said, there were no cars in the driveway. And we would go over and help him get in his chair, sometime if he fell with the caregiver. But I knew he was in the hospital. And I don't know, God was on his side. I decided to call his son in Massachusetts and said, "Hey, Francis, just to be sure, your dad's still in the hospital, right?" He said, "No, he got home last night, and there's a new
Wow.
caregiver, and I don't have the number." And they wouldn't let us back up, so I finally got through to 911 and said, "A welfare check. You got to go check on this guy." Well, there was a miscommunication, and I called my neighbor who hadn't evacuated yet. He was on his roof, fighting his fire. He'd been on my roof. He'd hosed my roof down. I said, "Go in and check on him." He went. He said, "The door's open. There's nobody here." He went in and yelled. He said, "No, nobody here." I said, "Look, just go behind the pantry. There's a little room. We can see him during the day. He likes to sit there because there's a garden." He went in and found him. He'd been left alone.
What's up, y'all? And welcome back to T Air TV. And I have been watching the stuff that's going on in LA and the fires, and now they're starting in Canoga Park, West Hills, and I grew up in those areas. I went to Canoga Park High School, and I also had friends that lived in West Hills, and I had friends that lived in Woodland Hills, and I also lived in North Hills myself as well. So to see what's going on is just so disheartening, to know that people are losing so much stuff, losing everything, embers everywhere. Janae Aiko, she lost her home in Pacific Palisades, and she's not the only person. But we know this is just really saddening, and it's just so cringy to watch, because when I'm looking at like the simulations, you know how they do a simulation on like how where the fires are started. Excuse me. Where the fires are started, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't look right. It's like it does look like someone is starting the fires. Like they're spread. Like, how do you go from one angle to the next angle, then like to another angle? And we stayed off of the We stayed off of the what is that? Is that the 101? 405? I lived there when I was in high school. I am now like in my 40s, so this was back in like 95, 96, 97. And this is just so crazy. It's cringy to watch. It is so saddening just to watch all these people lose their homes. And you know something, you know what's crazy? Sometimes you have that feeling when you know that celebrities be like a certain way toward people, and you say to yourself, if your ass didn't have that money, would you be this way? But who thinks that that's actually going to happen, right? Like I see people keep saying like God's been trying to tell you, you know, something, and the only thing I could think, like, no matter how much money you got at this point, and you couldn't, and you don't have fire insurance, it means your money means nothing right now. Like, this is all about life and death. Like, I really wanted to see somebody who really was running from the fire. Like, I wanted to see somebody who was in the thick of it all, you know? Um, and not for nothing, it's like, at first I was just like, well, they keep showing the same clips over and over again, right? So for me, I was like, well, if they keep showing the same clips over and over again, we see in the same area. We seeing the same thing over and over again. So how do we know that this isn't fear mongering at its highest like they normally do, right? I have a really close friend that lives in California, a couple close friends, and they're like, this is happening. This is truly happening. Because you know, sometimes the news can make, and I'm not saying that it's not happening, but sometimes the news can keep showing something, one thing over and over again, and heightening it. And I'm not saying that it's not at the magnitude that it is, but it's like the illusion of something. We're so used to having an illusion about something that we're not sure that it's actually real. This is actually real. And just listening to some of the narratives that kind of have been talked about, it's all about money. I remember when I was younger, like, I remember listening about them having fires, but it was so far up. It was so far away from like society, it feels like. And I'm talking about now, people are like evacuating their homes, and it's really getting real. And man, my heart just go out to so many people. I reached out to a couple people that I'm good friends with, and my one close friend, she's like, it's not here, it's not, but the air quality that they're around is suffering. Like, the air quality is, it's really bad. They can't really breathe. They gotta wear those masks. It's just like, I'm gonna be honest. I told my friend, I said, listen, jump in your ride and drive on home. And this is a 24 hour, like a 24, 36 hour drive, 48-hour drive or something like that. But I don't know. It's just being on the safe side. And it's scary because it's like, what next? People are going to the bank, and the banks are closed. The bank doesn't have any power. Like, there's no power in certain areas. Imagine people with their little babies having when stuff like this happens, you only think about the adults, right? You think about the grown folks and you like, well, they should just get up and go and leave they, you know, but then you start to think about like little baby, younger kids, older people, people who are disabled, like people who are not able-bodied to get out. I can't do, you know what, my mom passed away in 2019. I ain't saying I'm glad that she gone, but this wouldn't have been good for her. You know, just to see what's going on. It's so disheartening, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if it gets to West Hills, I know it can come down to Canoga Park, like really tear Canoga Park up, and it would just hurt. It would just be so sad. Where I used to enjoy my young life, all of that be gone. I went there a couple years back, and I drove down Roscoe, because I used to live on Roscoe, and nothing was the same. Drove on Ventura. I was just in some of the areas, and I went by my old school. I used to live in Burbank as well, and I went by that school. I went by Burbank High School. Very disheartening. I'm praying for everyone, their safety, their well-being, because it's in real life. These people got mansions. These people got families. I just wish the best for everybody. This is just disheartening. And like I said, the human you in your mind, you don't think of just the regular people that's going to work every day like you are to make a living. You only think, these rich people, they're rich, celebrities, who cares, bring them down to our level so they can understand. And it's not like that. It's not the same. Everybody's not a celebrity. Everybody is not egotistical. It's so many people that are very humble. And don't get me wrong, this situation is very humbling, but it's so many people that are already humbled, and they don't like people
to expire yesterday, extended to today, now has been extended until tomorrow.
Yeah, because Star, we had a bit of a reprieve in the last, half day or so, where people started to feel like maybe we're out of the woods. I started to feel that way, but this is kind of evidence that maybe we're not.
Yeah, that's right. We did see a lull in that wind activity, and it began as early as today. And, we were able to get that small little break, and that break just recently starting.
Tonight in Los Angeles, new evacuations were ordered tonight. The Palisades fire at this hour, planes furiously dumping water. Tonight, across Los Angeles, more than 10,000 homes and businesses damaged or destroyed.
And the swath of damage from all of these fires, about 45 square miles in size. That's bigger than the Bronx.
And what's going on? What part of California do you live in, or have you lived in? And I don't know. You guys have a good one.